so for people that aren't familiar with the process, there's a lot of people that are, but you've been working on this album for, you said the first thing was October, maybe
October was real. And then, but the crazy thing is when you're an artist like Thug, and when you announce on a Monday that your album is coming out on Friday, everyone wants to be on your album.
That's what I was going to ask. So everything goes crazy.
That week was, whoa, this is coming in. It was just insane. It was
so crazy. I don't know if you can talk about it, but I'm curious, and feel free to, to defer it or whatever. But you have Slime Language 2 up until the Monday he goes, I'm announcing it. And maybe you have, know what songs you're going to be on, what songs will be off. Maybe you have an idea. But then when things happen and he goes, it's coming out, what's the rush like? Is it multiple big artists? Is it saying we're getting this, and like the Drake, the Travis Scott, these various records?
The Drake record was, so that's a bit of a, so that record was actually, I think Gunna recorded that in November, and it was actually for Drake's album. And then Drake gave it to Gunna and us for Slam Language, and Thug got on it. But there was something about the production that wasn't there yet. So Thug's manager Geoff just was like getting like Wheezy went in and like just do a bunch of things to production, and it was never finalized. And then they said that Drake was gonna get on another song that I was waiting for till the last second, which is also another big song, which he was like, nah, whatever. He just like eventually they greenlit it at 9 a.m. on Thursday. Okay. And at that point, Thug's manager was like, it's too late. It's not on there. It's done.
So Thursday morning, it has to be delivered that night, I assume.
It's been delivered. It's been delivered.
Okay.
It's been delivered on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, at like 3 p.m., I remember my food was in the microwave, and he called me, and he was on the phone. He looked at me and said, the Drake song is coming out tonight. It's on there. And I was like, what? He said, go start. He just literally did this, go start. And he said, you have 1 hour. And I was like, whoa. So because we had the record from a while, I'm gonna go. I like skipped a bit of the story, but we had
do whatever. Yeah.
The version that came back from Drake was a different version with different sections of production. So there was Oz, his producer, did the first half, and Wheezy did the second half. So it's not like I just have to mix. I have to mix two completely different songs, essentially two completely different beats in 1 hour. You can't do it. And for me, the biggest dilemma is which version of the session should I use? Should I pull it into my session that they've sent, but they've made edits now? So I don't know. I have 1 hour. I could miss an edit. I could fuck up.
Yeah, you have to copy edits on the
But they sent me a completely different session. So now to take that into my mix session, which I've done all this, it took me 10 minutes to figure out what to do, which version to go with, because I kept opening up each version and shit, and then like all of us, like it was Flo, be it Erasure the Robot, Erasure, like, yo, if they've made edits on that, they've done that, we don't want to fuck up, let's work off their session. Opened up their session, then just started importing what we needed, got Thug's vocals in from ours and Gunna's vocals, and we had worked on Drake's vocals. We had cleaned a lot of D-bleed and D-click and all the cleanup stuff, but we couldn't use that. We had to use this new one. So it was crazy, but shit, that's the biggest record on the album.
Yep.
You know, we pulled it off 505 or 503, delivered to mastering, called mastering. Laporta was, now I can tell this story. Laporta was like, yo, I think Drake should come down, or Thug and Gunna should come up. And I was like, fuck, he can't be louder than our guys. And I was like, I made after he had okayed it, I made a change with Laporta, and the label, the head of A&R is messaging me like, what the fuck is going on? Because Laporta, instead of just saying it's happening, was like, nah, Bainz is making an edit. And I was like, yo, the edit's done. And like, again, you can't like, so now an edit is, the song is over 4 minutes. It's at least got to run the length of the song and the length of the clean. Yeah. There's no offline bounce when you're doing analog gear and shit.
Yep. So to bounce that song takes like 5 minutes each time.
exactly 5 minutes. So and this is when every minute counts. You're at 5:30, 6, 7, 8, 9. In 3 hours, the album comes out, and Thug was like, no, it's got to come out, or just put the album out later. And we're like, dude, we're dropping tonight. And Thug came while I was working on the record in this room.
I love
on Instagram Live, like, oh, what are you working on? And I didn't know if I could play it or not. He said, no, play it. And I was like, you want me to? You could like kind of on camera like hear me. He's on IG Live. He's like, yeah, play it for my fans. Turns it all the way up. You could hear my speaker fucking distort, because this room doesn't have a limiter. It's like, it's a mixed room, so I'm meant for production stuff. So I'm like constantly turning around, and he was like, yeah, this is on there. And I think he lit a fire under my ass, under the manager's ass, under the label's ass, under all the DSP people's asses. because DSP knows now that Thug is, every blog is talking about this, and I'm like, holy shit.
So he goes on Instagram Live. So
at 4 p.m.
Like,
yeah.
The recap is like that the album gets delivered on Wednesday for a Friday release, for a midnight Thursday release. Really,
yeah, which is still late.
Still super late.
Still the latest I've ever had to deliver. Like like you have to all this bullshit. It has to ingest and shit. They need 48 hours. Sometimes even 5 hours. They'll do it.
That's so crazy. So you deliver the whole album on Wednesday night for the midnight Friday, Thursday to Friday, and then on Thursday they go, hey, this Drake record is going on the album, and you're like, okay, I haven't slept in forever. I'm gonna figure it out. And even to the point where Thug, this is like to me, I hear the story and I go, this is leadership. Where he comes in,
he comes out Instagram Live,
and it's like, hey, this Drake record's coming out, and you're like, I fucking have to finish it now.
So that
it has to be great.
Later on that night, I got when I was like, okay, finally at past 9 p.m. there was a cake in the room. The record was out. I was like, is it on Spotify? It was on Spotify. If it's on Spotify, you're good, because Apple and all are quicker. Spotify takes the longest, and I know this because we've dealt with this in the past. And I was like, okay, cool. It's on Spotify. I was like, holy fucking shit. And then I went to Thug. I was wasted at this point. I was like, yo, you did that purposely. He was like, hell yeah, of course. he that's what he does. These things, like, he knows what he's doing. He knows everything he does. Like, everything he does is for a reason. It might not seem that way in the moment. And like the whole thing with this album, especially his manager is like the A&R on the album, and Thug's manager is a really good friend of mine, and he's the one who really has like put me in a position to do all this. But like, it's like he's given me these crazy challenges every time he throws this shit at me, but I've always delivered. And that's what I think, like, separates you. And that's where that whole like preparation and all that stuff comes in. You got to always be ready, and you got to kind of just do a good job and just be humble, and good shit will keep coming.
Well, and yet again, it gets back to making consistent records with the same people and building that level of trust, where, they know you can deliver, that you're going to work hard for them. You've been through the fire before, and you're going to make it happen. I love that. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite finishing the album story. That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, dude, Ski, like 2 days, and like the thing was, have you gotten Thug's mix approvals? That was also big, and I was like, not on this one. So the ones that we did have it till the last second, I was like, go to him and be like, because you got to catch him in the right mood to get a mix approval. That's a big.
He's an artist, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I went and played Ski for him, and like I remember the first time, it was really close, and I'd been working on this for so long. And he was like, nah, man. And I was like, what the fuck? He was like, nah, that 808, it meant to be like, it's just meant to explode. It's meant to be massive. And I was like, fuck, because on the rough, it had a big distorted 808 that was cleaned up now and shit. And bro, I came back and like getting that up and balancing everything else in that much of time before delivery. But it worked. And like, people are calling me like, yo, how did you do that? And I'm like, fuck, he knows what he's doing, man. He pushed me, put me under the fire, made me do something I wouldn't normally do that people are really enjoying. So